Hello again. In our last video, we have discussed about uh, the electric field and the work done against the electric field. Now, we will discuss the concept of electrostatic little further to introduce its applications in the form of capacitance or capacitors and Van de Graaff generator. So, electrostatics we make use in different instruments. So, here for the part of your curriculum, we are taking the two applications in the form of capacitor and the Van de Graaff generator. To begin with, we will first understand the behavior of different substances or materials towards the electricity, right? So, to begin with, I start studying the behavior of substances, and for this we know two kinds of substances or three kinds of substances. Conductors, first one are conductors. So, we are just to recall these. What are conductors? Conductors are the one, which materials? These are the materials in the atoms of which the electron in outermost orbit lies very loosely bound, or we can say in conductors there are lot of number of free electrons which are not bound to any atom, right? Or which are very loosely bound to the atom in their outermost orbit. Such availability of free electrons makes the conduct of electricity in the conductors very easy, and that's why the name for such material is given the conductors. Metals are good conductors of electricity because in metals the number of free electrons in outermost orbit of atoms lie very loosely bound to the atom, and hence they are able to free and move within the conductor. In the absence of some external electric field, these free electrons in the conductors, free electrons, they have just random motion. They keep on moving in one direction, they collide with the other, and then they change their direction, which cannot be predicted. Hence the motion is random motion. But whenever some electric field is applied, all the electrons starts moving in one particular direction, due to which an electric current is induced. So this is how the conductors, and what are the conductors. Second kind of materials or substances we know are the insulators of electricity. Insulators, these are the materials which do not conduct electricity. Why? Because they have no free electrons which are able to conduct electricity whenever some electric field is applied. So insulators are the one material, just like plastic, rubber, wood, all these are the materials, paper, glass, all these are the material which have no free electrons, so that electricity can be conducted. So absence of electrons, absence of free electrons in insulator make it non-conducting to the electricity, right? And third kind of material I am naming it dielectrics. Dielectrics are nothing but they are the insulators. They are the insulators which do not conduct electricity, but whenever they are placed inside some electric field, or we can say whenever some electric field is applied to some particular dielectric, or we can say insulator material, it does not conduct electricity, but the charges appear on the opposite faces of the opposite charges appear on the opposite faces of the we can say dielectric, right? So this behavior of insulators makes it to called as dielectric, right? Because whenever a dielectric substance, or we can say insulator substance, is placed in the electric field, current does not flow through it, hence conductivity is zero. But the dielectric has one kind of charge on one face and other kind of charge on the other face. This is the reason why we call it dielectrics. Now for the very first step, I will discuss how a conductor behaves, or I can say what happens to a conductor whenever it is subjected to some external electric field, right? So I am taking the behavior of conductors first, and then I will take the behavior of dielectrics whenever dielectrics are also subjected to some electric field. So first let us take the case of conductors. In this video I will take only this case. Okay, so let me take a simple case of, here is the conductor and we have applied some electric field with the help of two plates. One is positively charged plate, other one which is negatively charged plate so that there is electric field along this direction from positive plate to negative plate. So this is the electric field we have applied. This is the electric field all over the region between the plates, right? Now I am not drawing each and every line because it will just clutter the diagram otherwise. I am taking a dielectric, for example. Here is the dielectric substance, not dielectric but conducting substance, conductor. So before the electric field is applied across this conductor, the negative and positive charges are distributed non-uniformly, right? But when electric field is applied, all the negative charged electrons, negative charge is carried by the electrons, it will be drifted towards the positive plate. It will keep on drifting towards the positive plate, and all the positive charge will appear close to the negative plate. So that means there is flow of positive and negative charges inside the conductor. The negative charges flows towards the end towards the which is close towards the positive plate, and the positive charges flow towards the end of the conductor which is close to the negative plate, right? And this flow of charges continues till a situation of static condition is achieved, or we can say equilibrium is achieved. The charges which are building, let me take this case, the charges which are building or accumulating over this surface, the negative charges, as they keep on gathering at this surface, they will repel further coming of electrons towards this surface, right? They will prevent the other electrons which are coming toward this side close to the positive plate from reaching this end, and by the time it will, the electric field set by this negative and positive charges, it will prohibit all the positive and negative charges to flow anymore inside the conductor. This negative charge will avoid any other negative charge to come to this side, and positive charge will avoid any positive charge to come this side at the situation when equilibrium is achieved. Till then, flow will continue. So as soon as the equilibrium is achieved, an electric field will be set up, because the two opposite faces of this conductor are now oppositely charged. So there will be some electric field which is induced. I can say this electric field is now induced. Earlier there was no electric field. Whenever external electric field E is applied, an electric field is induced inside this conductor. This electric field, it is equal in magnitude to the electric field applied, and in direction it is opposite to the electric field which is applied. So inside there will be two electric fields which are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So this electric field and this electric field, this is induced electric field, that's why I have indicated with E naught. So these two electric fields are equal in magnitude. The induced electric field, it is equal to the electric field which is applied, and in direction it is opposite. Hence we can say that net electric field, let me call as EA to make it little simple indication. So this is net electric field. This is the net electric field. This will remain 0 inside the conductor. So from here we understand that whenever a conductor is subjected to some external electric field, the negative charge appear on one face close to the positive plate, positive charge appear on the other face close to the negative plate, due to which at the state of in the state of equilibrium, whenever no more flow of charges takes place inside the conductor, the electric field inside this conducting material or conductor remains 0. Net electric field remains 0, because the electric field induced, it cancels out the electric field which is applied. due to their direction opposite to each other and magnitude equal in value, right? Okay, so from here we understand few important points what happens to a conductor. The very first point we understand is that inside net electric field inside the conductor is 0 whenever this is happening. What is happening? We are placing a conductor inside some electric field, external electric field. You can also give it name EA or EEXT so that it becomes easy to mention. So net electric field inside a conductor is 0 whenever it is subjected to some electric field. However, it takes some little time. Number 2, this electric field, now this conductor has electric field only outside the conductor. Inside the net electric field is 0. Now this electric field outside the conductor it is perpendicular to the surface of the conductor. So whatever electric field is there, it will always be perpendicular. Suppose that there is electric field, so it will always be perpendicular, right? So electric field is always perpendicular. It will always, the electric field lines will always will be inclined at right angle to the surface. So this is what happens to the electric field lines. So this is what we mean by this line, that electric field it is always normal to the surface of the conductor. If it is not so, what is the reason for electric field to be perpendicular? We have already discussed in our previous classes that if electric field is not perpendicular but it at some other angle than 90 degree, then there will be some component of this electric field which will be along the surface, right? This component of electric field along the surface, for example here, it will make the charges to move over the surface, and hence the condition for electrostatics is violated. So there will be no electrostatics here. So whenever we talk about electrostatics, charges which are at rest on the surface, that means electric field should always be normal to the surface and it should not be at any other angle, right? Another property, in case of a charged conductor, if there is any charged conductor, then charge reside over the surface. In case of a charged conductor, a conductor is charged by either positive charge or a negative charge due to the deficiency or efficiency of electrons. So if there is a conductor which is charged, so that charge, whether positive or negative, it will lie only over the surface, right? There will be no charge, no net charge inside the conductor. This you can also understand from the Gauss law, because there is no electric field inside. So that means according to Gauss law, there can be no charge inside the conductor, no net charge inside the conductor. I am talking about net charge. Only the charge is over the surface of the conductor. Okay. Another thing is that the electrostatic potential is same at every wear of a conductor. In case of a conductor, whenever this is happening, the electric potential is same at everywhere. At everywhere means over the surface and inside the conductor, volume of the conductor. At every point the electric potential is same. How we can understand that, or why it is so? Because inside electric field is 0, then from this situation, this expression E is equal to minus dV upon dr, because electric field is 0 inside the conductor. Let us talk about inside potential. So inside because electric field is 0, so that means let us draw this negative sign. It is not of any importance as for now. Because electric field inside is 0, so this gives us dV is equal to 0. dV is equal to 0 means V is constant, because there is no net electric field inside a conductor. That means at every point inside the volume of this conductor, the electric potential is same. The work done is 0 in order to move a charge within the volume of the conductor, or we can say inside the conductor. Work done is 0 on any charge. This you can also understand by this concept, right? And what about outside? This we have already discussed, because electric field it is always normal to the surface at every point of the conductor. So that means there can be no work done along the surface. The work done in moving the charge over the surface will be 0, because there is no electric field along the surface. So no need to do the work against the electric force along the surface, because electric field it is always normal to the surface. So from there we understand, because there is no component of electric field along the surface, so there is no need to do any work, or we can say work done on a charge over the in moving it over the surface of the conductor is 0. Because work done is 0, that simply means the potential at everywhere it will be same, and it has the same value as, because electric field it is perpendicular to ds, or we can say surface. Surface, not ds vector, which is the area vector which we take normal to the surface, which will be either parallel or antiparallel. Electric field, because electric field is perpendicular to the surface, so there is no component of electric field along the surface against which the work need to be done. Hence the potential at every point will be same. So, and this will be the same potential as the potential inside. So from this we understand the electric potential is same at everywhere of a conductor, at inside the conductor or on the surface of the conductor. And fifth point, we can discuss the electric field over the surface, or we can say at a point near the surface of this conductor. So for that, let us take a charged conductor. Suppose that we have a charged conductor, and this conductor need not to be of any particular size or shape, right? It may be of regular shape, it may be of any irregular shape, right? Suppose that we have a conductor which is charged with the surface charge density sigma, and its surface area is S. Total surface area of this conductor is S, and it carries some charge, due to which it has some surface charge density, the amount of charge per unit surface area sigma, right? And we are interested in calculating a point just outside this conductor. Just outside this conductor, I am taking it little further to make a slightly bigger diagram, right? Suppose that this point is P, and we are interested in finding the electric field at point P due to this charged spherical, not spherical but of any particular say charged conductor having surface charge density sigma, right? So we draw a Gaussian surface through point P which is symmetric about the charge of the conductor. Now the charge, because it is a conductor, and if it is charged conductor, we have already discussed the charged conductor, the charge will only reside over the surface, it will nowhere, net charge inside the conductor will be 0. Suppose that we draw a Gaussian surface which is cylindrical. So it is a cylindrical surface. So at this point, the cylindrical surface is having some area ds. This is ds. And electric field from the surface, it is always directed radially outward if it is, for example, positively charged. So it is a electric field which we have to find, right? And this is the area vector which is enclosed by this cylindrical Gaussian surface over which the charge is lying, right? So this area and this area will be same because it is a cylindrical Gaussian surface of identical symmetry. This surface will be at same distance from the surface as the second surface. Both the surfaces of this cylindrical Gaussian surface will be symmetric about this surface of the conductor, right? So by the definition of electric flux, we can write, so we are writing the expression for the, or finding the expression for the electric field at the surface of conductor, if there is any, right? At the surface, we are taking the point just outside the surface, so with the electric field will be nearly same, right? So from the concept of electric flux, we write the expression for electric flux by the definition. So due to small charged area ds, there will be some electric flux through this area, and it is given by d phi. Due to small charged area ds, the small electric flux is given by, this is equal to electric field into ds into cos theta. Because theta remains 0, area vector, it is always along the direction perpendicular to the surface in outward direction. So it will be equal to 0 degree. So we are left with only E ds, right? And from the Gauss law, we can write the same flux, value of the same flux by using the Gauss law. Gauss law says that the flux, it is given by the charge which is enclosed by the Gaussian surface. So if this is the Gaussian surface which is cylindrical, right, it is enclosing some charge dq, and the surface which is enclosed over which this charge is lying, it is ds. So it is simply dq upon epsilon naught according to the Gauss law. What is the charge enclosed by this cylindrical surface? Which is the charge over the surface ds. We are indicating it with dq. So we can write this charge over this surface ds as sigma ds. The charge on 1 unit surface area multiplied by the surface area, we are considering it is ds divided by epsilon naught. Now because these two equations are talking about the same electric flux, so we can equate these two values. So from here, E into ds is equal to the flux which is given by Gauss law, which is sigma ds upon epsilon naught. So from here, electric field comes out to simply ds cancels out with the ds, and we are only sigma upon epsilon naught. So this is the magnitude of electric field at the surface of a charged conductor, or at any point near the surface of the conductor. And this electric field in vector form, it can be written as, I am writing it here in vector form, it can be written as electric field, it is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught into, we can take a unit vector along the electric field, let it be represented as n cap. N is the unit vector along the direction E, which is normal to the surface, hence n. So this is about electric field of a conductor. So these are some basic properties of a conductor whenever it is placed inside some electric field.